Glenn Clark Radio, talking about the sports you do and don't know, both within and surrounding Baltimore. Don't ask him about preseason games, oh no, stuff and things in Griffin Basso. Despite it being on the internet, he can call it what he wants, so Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio, Glenn Clark Radio. Duke sucks.
Russia.
Strike three to Siri. He's been on the gun a couple of times. That is a picture-perfect two-seamer. You couldn't place it any better. Tommy John surgery the next year.
Fourth in the Cy Young voting.
How about that one?
Yeah.
Another paint job and strikeout number 7 tonight for Bradish. That's 19 Ks over the last 2 games. Meyer, 0-2 pitch, shoved it in there. Strike 3 for Bradish, his 8th punch out of the evening. Let's find out. Breaking ball swung on and missed. 8 shutout innings, 9 strikeouts for Kyle Bradish. His first 8-inning start in the big leagues in 3 years on a brilliant night in Anaheim.
That's all courtesy of Masson. Yeah, big night for Kyle Bradish. 8 shutout innings.
Can I, the whole show,
Fourth.
can I just make the noises Jim Palmer's making? Oh.
Okay. It's unsettling when you do it, if I'm
What?
being honest.
Why's Jim Palmer allowed to get away with it?
Because he can do whatever he wants. He's Jim Palmer.
Oh.
He can do that. It's unsettling. Fourth man of the match of the season, team high for Kyle Bradish. And weirdly, I didn't even really think he was the story of the game last night.
It was Leo Taveras playing third base?
That was kinda. I'd also argue it was the fact that they scored runs and Taylor Ward.
Multiple innings, yeah.
It's weird how that works. At some point, I was debating what is the line where you have no choice but to make Kyle Bradish the man of the match, and I think it was after the 6th shutout inning. I was like, I don't think I'm gonna have an option here. And as it turns out, he went 8. So yeah, definitively no option. And yet weirdly, I think it was lower on the story of the game. The stories of the game, again, the bizarre Leody Taveras thing. We'll get to that in a second. Kobe Mayo continuing to mash lefties. I mean, all that dude does is mash lefties. Yes, it would be nice if he was a more complete hitter, but it doesn't hurt to be really good at this thing. Tyler O'Neill making a defensive play when the Orioles needed one.
He was going to be man of the match for that?
No, but
No.
he certainly was the story during the course of the game. A lot going on last night as the Orioles win 6-1 out in Anaheim. And now, can they do the impossible? Can they win a 4th straight game? I have heard tell.
Have they not won 4 games in a row?
They have not.
Holy
I have
cow.
heard tell of teams doing this. I have heard tell
Cubs had multiple
of
10-game
others
win streaks in the
being
first.
capable of winning 4 consecutive baseball games. But here in these parts, in Baltimore, Maryland, there has been no such story of the baseball team winning 4 consecutive contests. This evening, history could be made. And this is my promise. If the Orioles we talked about this yesterday. If the Orioles go on a win streak while I'm away, if the Orioles win a 4th straight game tonight, I will not do the show tomorrow.
And if they don't win 4 in a row,
I will not do the show tomorrow.
Okay, got it. So
over at the BAL
So you're
tomorrow.
you're just getting lazy, is what it is.
Because when somebody says we need someone to host the election recap, they say, "This guy, look at him." My wife said to me this morning, "Hey, where did we go to vote?" I said, "That's a great question." And then she said, "Do you have an answer?" I said, "I do not."
You're supposed to be
do
Mr.
not.
Election.
Well, normally I do get the old mail-in ballot. Like I go that route. I don't think I actually got one this time around. I do like there's something about not having to drive somewhere, not having to wait in a line. I know it's crazy. I know there's a lot of people that don't like mail-in ballots, but let me tell you something. Old GC, you telling me I can either go, and by the way, I found out where my polling place is. It's nowhere near my house. Not close. I live in Moncton. I got to drive to Hereford. It's not near me.
I mean, it's not that bad.
It's a good. I don't come that way at all.
Okay,
It's
that's fair.
It's a good 15 minutes both ways out of the way for me. I've got to add another 30 minutes on top of however long I would have to be waiting in line. And I'm not saying I won't do it. I'm not saying I don't believe in the democratic process. But also, I'm like kind of more inclined to be an independent. I do register for the sake of primary elections, but I'm way more of an independent. So this is kind of not my. This ain't my bag, baby. Did I hear there's going to be an Austin Powers 4? That is a terrible idea. What are we doing?
How's that any worse than
What
any other idea?
What are we doing? What are we doing?
What's going on here?
What's going on? I'm supposed to be attracted to this?
There you go. That was
I hear he's now unaffiliated. I hear he's no longer a Republican. Old Tucky.
Yeah, he's never been.
Is that true?
Yeah, he's always flirted right down the center.
Is that what he is? He's been a centrist?
Yeah.
That's wild. Anyway, I don't know how we got there. Oh, yeah, I'm not here tomorrow. But the Orioles could win a fourth straight game. That is, I've heard it can be done. Others have done it. I believe it is possible. Coming up on the program today, a little bit later on, we're going to talk Orioles with our esteemed Orioles analyst, Femi Ayanbadejo.
The Super Bowl champion?
Yes, Super Bowl 35 champion. We were talking last week about the Adley Rutschman trade concept, and Femi started hitting me up and was like, I kind of think they need to do it. And I was like, whoa, all right. Well, let's talk about it. I'm sure we'll throw in a little bit of Orioles too. Or sorry, a little bit of Ravens too. Imagine that'll come up. Femi, as you remember, is the purplest, purple drinking, purple wearing, purple loving.
He's the purplest, purple eating,
purple of all time. So I'm sure that will come up in conversation. And we're going to talk more World Cup, more soccer. Paul Tenorio, who covers soccer for The Athletic, he has a new book out called The Messi Effect. How about this for timing? Lionel Messi, of course, yesterday becomes the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. Griffin was ready to hang himself.
I was
Griffin,
like, I can't believe. I mean,
early on
I
in the
guess
match.
It makes sense. He wants to earn them. That's
Right. Doesn't want a cheapie. He doesn't want to break the record on a cheapie
unlike
PK.
those cowards like Harry Kane,
Yeah,
who's
look
like,
at that
I
guy.
only is going to score from the.
No, he says, I'm not going to score from the spot. I'm going to score from, well, basically the spot. More or less the spot, where he ultimately scored from. But he did it in the run of play as he became the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. We'll talk to Paul Tenorio about that, about some thoughts that I have related to, like, what Messi's arrival in the U.S. has meant for American soccer. Like, is there some correlation between this moment right now and Messi, or has it all happened in a vacuum? And also the U.S. as well. We will do that with Paul Tenorio coming up in a bit. According to manager Craig Albernaz, nothing significant when it comes to Blaise Alexander. Now, I feel like that's what we've heard after every after every injury.
And then 12 hours later.
Yeah. So I'm not sure what to make of it. I'm not going to be overly concerned, but I'm not going to pretend like, nothing to see here. Blaise Alexander will definitively be back in the lineup tonight. And there's a bigger issue for the Orioles, which is the reason why they were in the situation they were in last night was because not just Blaise Alexander getting hurt, but Jackson Holliday being out altogether, apparently, and not needing to be on the IL. And clearly you didn't want to turn to Samuel Basayo because he had just caught 3 straight games. So you didn't want him DHing. Also, obviously, you wanted to have Kobe Mayo's bat in the lineup. Like it's a complicated set of circumstances that got you to where you were. And as goofy as it is, give credit to Leody Taveras, who first batter, he got the job done. I referenced something that Buck Showalter always said. You remember we talked to Buck Showalter about the Chris Davis pitching game earlier this year? And we had a nice conversation about Buck said, you always know. Like, you have done your research on who could possibly do something for you if necessary. You know who's done the most pitching in their background, who would be least affected by it. He brought that up when it was Chris Davis. He was like, one of the considerations I made was Chris Davis is a first baseman. If his arm is sore,
Who cares? Yeah.
right, not going to affect us all that much. He had done a little bit of it, and it was going to hurt us the least moving forward. It's not just draw straws or... Now, to be fair, apparently Craig Albernaz first asked Colton Cowser, and apparently Colton Cowser pooped his pants. Which I feel like is not something that you'd want to, like, volunteer about.
I cleaned it up quick. At least, or yeah, it was just
I don't know if I've ever told this story before. It happened on the radio. Years ago, when I was close with the late Arthur Jones and John Bones Jones, I would sometimes we do bits where they both called in at the same time. Sometimes, like, I would get a text from John who'd be like, let me call in today, and I want to make fun of Arthur. Like, I mean, just stuff like that. And John one time called in, and I just said, hey, man, because Art and I were very close. I was like, you got a good embarrassing story you could tell me about him that, like, I could. And John proceeded to say, oh, when Arthur was a kid, he pooped his pants all the time.
all the time.
Now, this happened on live radio. And he said pooped. I mean, he didn't, like, get me in trouble. And so, I don't know. I guess I just thought it was a joke, right? And so I texted Arthur. I'm like, hey, bro, you might want to call in because your brother kind of just disparaged you a little bit. He's like, what did he say? And I said, you call in and I'll play it for you. And Arthur was pissed. I guess because there was some truth to the story. It wasn't just him.
Just
coming up with something. There was some truth to that, like Arthur maybe when he was a kid. I had and so legitimately, like the next day, I'm in the locker room. I go over to see him. I'm like, hey man, that was fun. He was like, that was not fun. He's like, I'm gonna kill him. Now, I was like, what? He's like, I told him never to talk about. I'm like, wow, okay, there's something real here. Like, and I think he said it was like 6 or something like that. Kids.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
Like, kids poop their pants. That's the thing. But it was wild. It was a wild scene, man, after that occurred.
You have John Bone Jones and Arthur Poop Jones.
No.
Is that what you guys started doing?
No. We miss R.I.P. brother. Miss you. Love you forever. But yeah, that was funny that apparently he first went to Colton Cowser, and I don't know if that's, again, maybe there's Colton Cowser played some third base.
Well, didn't he say, or whoever, I forget who reported it, but yeah, he said, who wants to play third? He just belted it out. Isn't that the way they...
I thought he said he asked Colton Cowser first.
I thought Colton Cowser was like, I'll do it, and then he was like, okay, and then Cowser was like, wait, for real? And then that was the way I read it.
I did not read it that way. I'm not telling you that's not the way that it happened. I just did not read it that way. And for what it's worth, Colton Cowser played 21 games at third base.
Oh, really?
Hang on a second, I'm going to figure out what level this was. In college, he played 21 games at third base at Sam Houston State. So it would be logical. Oh, okay. All right. There you go. So he did. It's exactly the way that you described it. Maybe I read it from somebody else, not Jacob Calvin-Meyer. Craig Albernaz yelled in the dugout, who wants to play third base after Blaze Alexander injured his knee? Colton Cowser initially went to volunteer, but when he realized Albernaz was serious, Cowser was, quote, pooping in his pants, unquote. Albernaz joked. The Orioles then went with Leody Taveras. Who else was out there? Because whoever I read it from...
I'm sure everybody had it.
Because whoever I read it from reiterated, like, that was Craig Albernaz saying it, not me. I don't remember who I read it from, but they did not include the. Who would have been there? It wouldn't have been Wyrick,
Brill
right?
is
It would have been somebody from the from the Banner. Who would have been there from the Banner? Andy?
Yeah, Andy. Yeah, I believe Andy is there.
Is Andy there? Hang on a second. Andy.
Craig Albanese initially asked Colton Cowser. Yeah, Andy did write it as.
There we go.
He asked
Craig
Colton
Albanese
Cowser.
said he
So
initially asked Colton Cowser.
Yeah,
who's
JCM
telling
Andy
the truth
and
here?
see-
Yeah, right. We got some discrepancy on this. Andy Koska said Craig Albanese said he initially asked Colton Cowser if Colton wanted to play third, and Albanese is telling Colton or Cowser almost pooped his pants. Albie's words. So he pivoted to Leody Taveras. So, questions. Now, diving in on Colton Cowser, if the scenario is that he did ask, that he didn't just tell or take volunteers, if he asked, it would make sense that he would ask Colton Cowser because, as I talk about with Buck Showalter, you always know. And according to Baseball Reference, Colton Cowser played 21 games at third base in college, so he would be a logical choice to ask. You were trying to show that the Taylor Ward story. I was not aware.
Yeah.
I had no clue that Taylor Ward had ever played third base in the major leagues. But Jacob Calvin Meyer did apparently bring that up with Craig Albanese. Albanese recalled a funny conversation he had with Ward during spring training. I asked Ward about being the emergency catcher, and he wasn't really about that. And then we talked about third base, and this is a couple days later, and he referenced, quote, "Remember that conversation we had about catching?" Unquote. I was like, quote, "Yeah," unquote. He goes, quote, "I would much rather catch than play third," unquote. Now, with respect, if your team needs you, and the alternative is to put someone there who's never done it before, I would think that maybe Taylor Ward would be a bit more willing to consider the possibility. Look, all's well that ends well. The Orioles win the game. Leody Taveras was barely tested, as was pointed out by Palmer and Kevin Brown. Like, if the game had been closer, then maybe the Angels might have tried to lay a couple of bunts down, but the game wasn't particularly close. You could argue they should still have considered the strategy just to try to get something going.
So their other options could have been like, what, you throw Alonso over to the third, and then and then you do enter Basayo, like, then he plays first.
I mean, there's lots of
or do you say F it and drop the DH and you just enter Mayo?
Yeah, well, they ultimately
Bradish
did
has to
that
hit.
clearly later in the game once they had built up a lead. This is the difficulty of having multiple players unavailable, right?
And carrying three catchers, like
all of it. All of it is like in your scenario, they'd probably say we need Basayo to catch tomorrow night. If we have him play first, he probably can't catch tomorrow night. They're in a tough spot without Blaze or Jackson Holiday, which is why when I say, hey, the word is that Blaze Alexander appears to be fine, the quote from Craig Albanese, it just locked up on him. I think if we had more time, we probably could have worked it out for him, but in that moment with the inning being over, we had to make a quick decision. So, yeah, it'll be a muscle contusion day to day. If they know that Blaze Alexander can play tonight. Now, apparently Luis Vazquez was on the taxi squad, so he's in Anaheim. They could just simply say, hey, Basayo's back tonight. We can, send Chadwick Tromp back to the taxi squad, and Luis Vazquez can be on the roster. And if they have any doubt about Blaze Alexander or Jackson Holiday, you would presume that's what they'll do, right? Like, if Basayo is good to go and Sam Huff, Sam Huff, even in an emergency situation, would still only be playing back-to-back games. I get it. They clearly were saying we're not putting Basayo in here because then we think he might not be available the next night. But that would be the first thing that they do if they have any doubt about those guys. The real question is if they have doubt that it's going to, like, at what point do you make a roster move because you don't really want to play Luis Vazquez either? And I get it. What are the alternatives? Like, what are the options even at AAA that are decent infield options? Tommy Pham opted out. Bet he feels silly. What a silly goose he must feel. Like, this could have been his moment. You don't really have a lot of options that you feel great about, and that's part of the maybe the answer is just Luis Vazquez until one of these guys are ready. It was awkward, obviously. It was a weird spot to be in, but
good thing they're playing the Angels.
Yeah, thankfully they survived. Remember, the Angels had actually been playing good baseball of late.
So there was a stat. Somebody said it was the first time in 10 years. It might have been from like the Angels broadcast or something. The first time in 10 years, both teams had been coming off of back-to-back wins or more coming into the series.
I buy that. I mean,
the first time the Orioles
these
and
have not
Angels were facing
exactly
each
been
other.
murderers row.
Yeah.
I mean, they've had their moments, but let's not pretend like these are. We're not talking about like a Yankees Dodgers series or something along those lines. The Angels, I say, had been playing better baseball. They had won 2 games. That's really what it had been. They had been same for the Orioles, right? Like, neither one of them had a great track record coming in. The Orioles got the job done in Game 1, and the starting pitching continues to be consistent. Now, the next question is what is the date for Dean Kramer? Is he back this weekend? If he's back this weekend, I don't know how many starts they want him to get after he pitched this past weekend. I don't know if they want him to make another one. If that's the case, then I guess it wouldn't be until the following week. And maybe the fact that Trey Gibson bounced back on Friday night perhaps make them say, we can wait a moment on this. I don't know. Yeah, he only went 3 2/3, but that's 66 pitches. That would suggest that you could probably get 80 from him the next time out. So how quick are they to make that decision with Dean Kramer? Does he pitch this weekend in Baltimore? Trey Gibson is in line to start tomorrow, so it would provide you that opportunity. Although with the off day on Thursday, you really don't need a 6th man. Like, if you didn't have an off day on Thursday, it would be a great argument to say, hey, have Kramer start after Gibson because it buys everyone a day. But
yeah, then Rogers would be on 7-day rest if he's starting Saturday.
Which, it's so funny whenever I have this comment. Like, I was talking with Steve Johnson about it the other day. He's like, nah, man, I don't like 6. A lot of guys don't like 6-man rotations because you want your guys going out there and pitching. And right now, the way that Kyle Bradish is pitching, you'd say, yeah, you want that guy out there every 5 days. But the innings thing is still real for Kyle Bradish. So is it the end of the world if you go 7 days, if you throw in Dean Kramer on top of it? Or do you purposely use this? What is the schedule after that, the following week?
For the Orioles?
Yeah, do they have an off day the following week?
Yes, they're off Thursday the 2nd. So they're off back-to-back Thursday.
So there really isn't a chance to manipulate that with Kramer, right?
Yeah.
Like, you're
then
going to
they play. Then they're at Cincinnati, but they're off. So they're off that Thursday the 2nd, and they're off Monday the 6th as well. So it's 3 days, and then they got 2 off days in the first week of July.
So there's absolutely no way, no chance. Even if you give Kramer another start, there's no way to manipulate this and get a brief 6-man rotation out of it.
Not really.
It would require you to essentially kind of have a 7-man rotation. And in that scenario, if you waited even longer, it would be an 8-man rotation, given the multiple off days. Not really an 8-man rotation, but you would have a starter who wouldn't be pitching if you pitched everyone in turn for a full 8 days. We'll see. We'll see. That's sort of the question. The questions right now, Blaze Alexander, Jackson Holliday, what's their reality? When does Adley Rutschman return? Is it just 7 days and he's good for the weekend? And then Dean Kramer. And I guess, does Cade Povich factor into the conversation at all? And maybe the other lingering one would be the Heston Kjerstad. Is he earning his way back? And do you have a Tyler O'Neill conversation at some point? Not when he's playing defense like that, though, baby.
Yeah, I mean, and the issue is just they're all left-handed bats, right? And it's like that's the thing that they want Tyler O'Neill around for, or even if though he's not hitting. I mean, I guess I think Jacob Calvin-Meyer shared he's like batting .250 or something over the last like 4 weeks.
He's been not as bad.
Yeah,
that is the reality. And so you're right. I mean, that is a factor in this. If you have more, if Heston Kjerstad is just more
back,
of the same. Yeah, but he's not.
He's up at Norfolk starting this week.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
He was
somehow.
in Chesapeake, I think, since Thursday, so he did
Okay.
3 games last weekend.
So he's now that's a more relevant
Yeah.
question because like I think right now Beavers you're not waiting on. Like when he's ready, he's on the team.
Mm-hmm.
And I get it. Like there is sort of a nebulous roster spot here because right now it's being held by Chadwick Tromp, but we're talking about a scenario where it could be held by Luis Vazquez. That roster spot you don't have to make a real move in order to get one of these guys back. And when Rutschman comes back, it's obviously Huff, right? Like so some of these there's no conversation to have. Beavers could have this nebulous spot, the spot that Trump has, that other guys have held, or Siani had. Like that can be his spot on the roster. Sorry, stupid allergies.
Thanks.
Man, it sucks.
We worried about Rico Garcia.
As I said before, it's weird. It just seems like Rico might be better off being used when there's runners on base. Like, it just might be that Rico's not a clean inning guy.
He pitched on Saturday. It's not like they had to get him in. I guess because he was warming.
Yeah, it was odd that was the
Yeah.
choice in a 6-0 game that you would go to Rico Garcia when presumably he's your leverage guy. Although right now, tell me which leverage guy you feel good about.
Right, I know.
In the immediate moment, I think Cano, right? Like Cano's the guy that you probably feel the best about. But Cano's numbers of late haven't been all that great. It's just that you feel most confident in because he just got out of it on Saturday, right? Like
Would last night have been a good spot to give Helsley another crack, or
I mean, they're gonna say
he's a closer,
right?
Yeah.
And so we're not gonna run the risk of we need a closer tonight and tomorrow, and he's not available because we pitched him Monday in a 6-0 game. But you and I would say, is he? Is he? But that's kind of the problem that we're having with all of them right now. Like Kittredge, yeah. Like we're
He's gonna
all
put guys on. It feels like that's
we're feeling kind of rough about every single one of them. Maybe we're coming back around on Tyler Wells as actually being a leverage guy. Look good over the weekend. Like maybe Tyler Wells works back into the leverage conversation. Yeah, it was odd to me that was who they turned, and they didn't warm him up until it was already 6-0. It's not like like it was closer and they started warming him up, and so they had to put him in. They knew it was a 6-0 game when they started warming him up. So yeah, a little odd. That's who you turn to, but I don't know. Maybe that was a hope for a confidence thing. Like let's go in there in a 6-0 game. They're defeated. Go have a quick 1-2-3 clean inning, and then get Rico's confidence going again after some struggles of late. Don't have that answer.
another one is Yarmil Geraldo started throwing live BP this week.
Yeah, I'm not quite as
Where does he factor in?
Not quite as pressed about Yarmil Geraldo's spot in all of this. Not quite as
Why not?
consumed by it. Today's show is brought to you by CountySports.zone. Everything you need to know about high school sports here in the state of Maryland, you can find at CountySports.zone. Proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Obviously, huge NBA news. Late last night became official. Giannis going to the Heat. After all of the heat, no pun intended, was on the Celtics during the day yesterday. Giannis ends up with the Heat. It's an interesting pairing, he and Bam, and then it's
Jameer Young and nobody else. Yeah.
pretty much. I don't know. Does that make them it certainly makes them a contender to win the East. Does it put them above Boston or New York? And I don't know.
Washington, yeah.
Yeah,
sure.
right. Yeah, Washington. They got Trae Young back. They do have that going for them. I don't know that I see that. I still think that I would have them third in the pecking order in the East behind those two teams. But, I mean, I don't know. I get it. It's Giannis. You have the opportunity to go get Giannis, you go get Giannis, and you kind of figure it out from there. It's just the two of them together, it's sort of an odd pairing to me. Like, Giannis alongside Steph Curry, you're like, oh, okay, I get that. I see how that works. Giannis alongside Bam, I don't know. It's an odd pairing, but I get it. You only get the opportunity to get players like this every so often, and so you do whatever you can do in order to get it. And
Would you have taken the Jaylen Brown and 2 1s instead from Boston? Or?
I don't know what the value of the ones are when the ones are they're not top 5 picks. Like I get that first round picks in the NFL are massive. But in the NBA, unless you're landing yourself a true top pick, I don't know how valuable they are. I mean, Jaylen Brown is a hell of a player. I would have liked to have Jaylen Brown, but I think if you're Milwaukee, you're kind of
rebuilding.
I think that's the reality. I don't think you're trying to win on the fly. I think you're acknowledging that we're kind of starting all over, and I think that's the situation there. We're going to do this a little bit earlier on because of his schedule, but some history yesterday at the World Cup. Lionel Messi becomes the all-time leading goal scorer in World Cup history. Let's talk about that, the Messi effect, and the U.S. men's national team with Paul Tenorio, who covers soccer for The Athletic right here on GCR.
And we'll continue to talk some soccer here on GCR. Joining us now, he is the author of the new book, The Messi Effect. Picked a good day to make this appearance and to have this conversation. He covers soccer for The Athletic. He's Paul Tenorio. Paul, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. So tell me exactly how the arrival of Lionel Messi in America has led to the fact that the United States is now going to win the World Cup.
It does feel that way, doesn't it? Look, I think the reality is that Messi's arrival in America timed up with this unprecedented moment in time for the sport here, where you have, the world's game coming summer after summer. After Messi arrived was the Copa America in 24, the FIFA Club World Cup in 25, now the World Cup in 26. And it also is a chance to showcase how far the game has come here since 1994. And the U.S. team is evidence of that, right? You have this golden generation, quote unquote, of American soccer with these players who kind of came up as the, early generation of players in the MLS Academy, sold overseas, go to Europe younger than ever, and build their careers there. And now they're finding success in this World Cup as well. It's all linked. It's all connected. And, that's really what this book is about, is the fact that all of, I want people to understand what led to this moment, where American soccer is now, all of the things that contributed to its growth to this point, and then where it's going from here and the factors that will influence its growth going forward. And Messi's found himself at the center of it when he signed with Inter Miami.
Paul, I acknowledge that Messi has proven to be significantly different than even some of the other legends of the sport that arrived in MLS. And I used to do play-by-play in MLS, and I got to call Thierry Henry and David Villa and guys like that. And I know Messi was definitely far more in his prime, as we still see clearly to this moment with him breaking the World Cup record yesterday. That said, I feel like there's been an argument that he has still kind of existed in a vacuum in the U.S., where whether it's because of the TV deal with Apple, that Messi is still significant, but it hasn't really risen MLS. What do you make of the actual impact of Messi on the league itself beyond just when he plays, like we saw earlier this year in Baltimore when they played DC United here, that it matters because he's there, not necessarily because he's rising the entire league?
That's right. I mean, that is the book. The book is about how do you take this Messi moment, this commercial spike, and turn it into something that is lasting, to make it so that Major League Soccer has a moment where it can look back and say, this is how Messi changed the league. And it's in much the way David Beckham did, right? When David Beckham arrived back in 2007, it was the creation of the designated player rule, the David Beckham rule, that really was the biggest influence of Beckham's time in Major League Soccer. Not the 2 championships he won with the Galaxy, not the stadiums he sold out around the country. It was the creation of this rule that allowed Thierry Henry and David Villa and Kaká and eventually Messi to come to this league. So what is the impact going to be for Messi? We're not going to talk 20 years down the line about the stadiums that he sold out across the league, or the number 1 best-selling jersey in the world for Adidas, or the valuations for Inter Miami, or the trophies he won as his lasting legacy. And this book goes into the boardrooms of Major League Soccer and shows the debate and the dynamics of the debate that these billionaire owners are having in Major League Soccer about how to properly leverage this, how to take advantage of it. And the reality is they haven't done a good job of
Yeah.
it. The fact that we're coming out of the World Cup in 2026 without these changes happening now, when they have an opportunity to capitalize and they have the greatest advertisement for the sport that they could possibly have, was a failure of leadership in Major League Soccer. But, they are changing the calendar. They are going to change the roster rules. They are going to change the competition structure of the league. So within 5 years of Messi's arrival, the fact that MLS will have a new calendar, a new competition structure, and hopefully new roster rules that allow the league to compete on the global stage in a bigger way, that's one heck of a legacy. But MLS still needs to get it across the line, and we still have to acknowledge that they didn't get it done in time to fully leverage this Messi moment.
He is Paul Tenorio. Again, the book is The Messi Effect. We will link it up on our Twitter account at Glenn Clark Radio for you to check it out. Paul, I reference, and you reference some of the others like David Beckham and obviously Henry, but when I ask the question, what makes Messi different, is the answer simply he's just I hate the GOAT thing, I really do, but is the argument that it has been proven that he truly is the greatest player of all? Like, it is remarkable to me that when we kind of wrote off Argentina a little bit and wrote off Messi a bit coming into this World Cup, he's kind of reminded everybody, oh no, I'm still Lionel Messi. Is he definitively, making this point that he might be the single greatest player of all time?
Absolutely. I mean, that is the difference. You nailed it. What is the difference between every designated player that's ever come to Major League Soccer and Messi? Is that he's not comparable to the players, his contemporaries, right? When we talk about Messi, the comp is Pelé. The comp is Maradona, the greatest of all time, right? That's who he's competing against. And he is now definitively the greatest of all time, and he's showing it. When he came to Miami, what was the word? The word was, okay, that's it. He's off the major stage of professional soccer. He's going to a lesser league. He did it at the top, at his peak, winning the World Cup in Qatar. Farewell, see you later. You're not relevant anymore internationally. And boy, has he just ripped that argument to shreds.
Yep.
The top goal scorer in South American qualifying for Argentina going into the World Cup, 5 goals in his first 2 games in this World Cup. And it shows, it wasn't a surprise to me reporting this book, but when you talk to people around Inter Miami when he arrived and through these first 3 years, his competitiveness, his mentality is what makes him so great, in addition to his supernatural skills, right? And he wanted to prove a point, and he spent years in Major League Soccer preparing for this moment. We had a story come out in the Athletic. This part's not in the book, and maybe it will be if I have a paperback edition or something like that. But in the lead up to this tournament, he spent time, working extra to make sure that he was ready, not just to be a part of this World Cup. He doesn't want to just be a guy on Argentina's team, but to be Messi. And look at what he's done. I mean, it's like, I try to compare it maybe to like Tom Brady going to the Bucks and winning another Super Bowl, just to show people that he's the greatest. That if you want to ask what the secret sauce is in the Patriots, it was Tom Brady. And Messi goes to MLS and comes back into the World Cup and shows, I'm still Messi.
Yeah.
And that's what this summer has been about.
No, it's breathtaking, man. I mean, it's really incredible to watch. Paul, I allude to the United States is going to win the World Cup. Are we getting look, we like Maryland football around here. They go 4-0 in non-conference play every year, and then they can't win a league game. Are we getting too excited about their performances, appropriately excited, or is there a chance that like we're maybe still not even that we're being too cynical and not taking it seriously enough how well they've played?
I think there's multiple correct answers here.
Okay.
First of all, I think we should be this excited, and fans should embrace this moment and have fun and enjoy it, because it is fun. They're playing good soccer. They're playing attacking soccer. They're winning games. The crowds are incredible. The vibes are great. Enjoy it. Like, this is fun. This is awesome. And it's unprecedented, right? The first time they've won back-to-back group stage games since 1930, and the World Cup looked a lot different a century ago. So absolutely embrace it and enjoy it. That being said, when we talk about winning a World Cup and you look at the way the bracket's falling right now, in order to win a World Cup, the U.S. would have to get through from the quarterfinal round forward, Spain, France, and then Argentina or England. Okay. So those are the very best teams in the world. So right now the focus, just live in the moment and enjoy it and expect them and say, I believe that they can win the round of 32 game for sure. They can win the round of 16 game. They can get to a quarterfinal. And then we'll cross that bridge when we get there of playing the very best teams in the world. Have fun with this, enjoy it. And also let's also acknowledge, yes, this does mean that soccer is growing and improving here. It does show that, these young American players were scouted early on, bought by teams in Europe at earlier ages than ever before, developed there. And that's going to continue to happen and evolve as long as these MLS owners make the right decisions that I outline in the book. There's a chance that they can get even better. So, it's all stuff to be excited and happy about. But yeah, when we talk about winning a World Cup, there's just a different level to that.
I want to wrap with this if I could, because it's selfish. Alex Freeman is a Baltimore native. I've known his father for, most of my adult life. He's a Baltimore legend. And I didn't see this. I've gotten to know Alex the last few years. I didn't see this coming, right, over the course of the last 12 months. What happened on Friday was awesome, him scoring a goal. But in general, how impressive has he been? And given that he's 21, how significant of a part of the future of American soccer is Alex Freeman?
An incredible run to go from making your Major League Soccer debut, more than a year ago, to your national team debut last May, to scoring a goal in the World Cup. Just a rapid ascent after a very slow and steady rise, right? It's all of a sudden there's this spike. His ability, his athleticism, his ability to read the game, to understand when to go forward and when not is wonderful. He's now playing at a high level in Spain. He has more room to grow. Pochettino thinks he can be one of the best right backs in the world, he said. So we're seeing the beginnings of it, and hopefully he can continue to grow. That's the most important part. That's what we saw with Pulisic and McKennie. They kept getting better. That's Alex Freeman's job now, is to keep getting better in Spain and to see how good he can be, how far he can take it.
At Paul Tenorio is how you follow him. The Messi Effect is available now. Paul, thank you for taking the time for us. Enjoy the rest of the World Cup.
Thanks so much for having me.
Paul Tenorio covers soccer for The Athletic with us here on GCR. When we come back in, we're going to talk some Orioles, some Ravens with our buddy Femi Ayanbadejo. That's next. It's Glenn Clark Radio.
This summer, the world gathers on the biggest stage in sports, and only one place puts you in the front row for every thrilling moment. Live Casino. June 9th through July 19th, surround yourself with massive screens, trophy-worthy specials, and arena-sized energy. This isn't a game. It's history in the making. Watch the world play at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
This is Byron Warnken. If you've been injured in Maryland, you know you need a great lawyer. Look no further than us, Warnken LLC. You've seen my picture on billboards around town. You've seen me on TV. Now I'm lucky enough to get to be here with Stan. Please give us a call. 443-RESULTS. It is not just a phone number, it's a mission. 443-RESULTS. Or visit us online at warnkenlaw.com. That's WARNKENLAW.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Tuesday edition of the program. You know this man. He's not just a Super Bowl 35 champion. He's not just the purplest, purple-loving, purple-drinking, purple-wearing, purple man of all time, but he's a well-rounded talk show host over on 105.7 The Fan. You hear him every Saturday. He's our buddy Femi Ayanbadejo, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Femi, what's going on, brother? How are you? Oh, did he freeze? Oh, no. Everything was so well set up, too. There we go. What's up, pal? Oh, you're on mute. Can you unmute yourself, Femi? Man.
There we go.
Oh,
now,
my
now
guy.
We got it. All
What's
right.
up, buddy?
Man, we're rookies over here.
I was about to make.
Acting like rookies.
I normally save all the old jokes for Bruce. I normally use all of those with him. What's going on, pal? How are you?
I'm chilling, man. Doing good, man. The weather today, I don't know what's going on, but you know.
It sucks. It's awful.
Yeah.
I hate that.
Yeah. Dreary.
It's funny because I do want to talk some Ravens with you, but you and I had a good back and forth last week about Adley Rutschman, and we ended up having a lot of conversation about this over here, and I am not banging the table and saying the Orioles better trade Adley Rutschman, but I think the conversation is compelling because I think it's a question about how serious they are about fixing this, and I don't know, they've won 3 straight games. That's good. How serious they are about legitimately contending to win a World Series next year, and where Adley Rutschman is as far as his willingness to sign an extension or just go to free agency. And I think there is a scenario where if they're not and he's not, then you do have to think about trading Adley Rutschman at the deadline this year. And it seems like you're definitely thinking about that right now.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think Adley's outstanding. You know, his defensive prowess in regard to block rate, his pop time down to second. His OPS was up over 800 for a long stint there. It's just under it now, but it's 10th in Major League Baseball. He's a great clubhouse guy. Everybody loves him. A switch hitting catcher.
Yep.
You know, you could DH him. He's got so much versatility. He's healthy right now. And I think the question that I was really floating to you, and I can really do this objectively because obviously I want the O's to be good and I want them to win. But you know, I grew up a Giants fan. Like that's my baseball team. But I live in Baltimore, so I always want this city and I want the athletes here to thrive. So when I look at building a championship team here, I look at Adley and I think about, well, what's the end game here with him? It makes me a little uncomfortable when you have Sam behind the plate and then he's DHing. You know, that DH role maybe it'd be better served with a guy like Blaze Alexander, who I absolutely love and think should be playing every single day, should be in the lineup every day, in my opinion. I've been saying this for a long time. I'm just wondering if you have a plunder or an asset-rich position, what does that do to the rest of the roster?
It's interesting.
And you're kind of short, in my opinion, when it comes to starting pitching. And so I am a huge Brandon Young fan. I've been banging that drum since he threw that, you know, what was it, 6 scoreless innings in Chicago in April. I've been on, you know, banging that drum ever since then. I believe he has the psychological makeup to be a number 3 starter in the rotation. I just believe him when he's out there. He's stoic. He commands respect. I love the command that he's shown. I love the splitter that he's been throwing. It's been almost unhittable. You know what I mean? Using the 4-seam fastball with that.
Which is crazy. Like the fastball is almost unhittable despite the fact that it's only like 90. It's 94, right? Like
it's the command and the combination with the splitter and off-speed stuff, dude. Like he's keeping him off balance and he's not predictable at this point. And, you know, look at what Boz has been doing lately. Look at what Bradish did last night. Like I'm hoping that Trevor finds his groove again. But when you got those guys doing well, and look, that death ball from Gibson, I'm a fan, dude. If I didn't know it, it's around 87 miles an hour, but it reminds me of Clayton Kershaw's left-handed curveball. That's more of a curveball. I know his pitch is more of a slider, but when you see it and you just look at it, they look very similar. Obviously, there's more velocity on Trey's ball, but the point is that it looks like a left-handed pitch to some degree with the dip on it, the way that it comes straight down. Anyway, what I'm saying is I think this team has a lot of really good assets, and the highs are really high and the lows are really low. Starting pitching is going to be a problem. Defense has improved massively. Playing small ball, hitting with runners in scoring position has been an issue. How do you address one or two of these issues, maybe using Adley as that piece to do that? You know what I mean? And look, once again, these are all open for discussion things. I am not saying that they should do this the same way you're not saying they should do this. Maybe the best decision is to do nothing. I don't know. But then you have a looming lockout potentially, right? You have the contract situation. You have Sam. I'm just looking at it, and you and I were having kind of just a very philosophical discussion about where this team is going and how they get to where they need to get to. And is Adley a piece that you use and dangle to get another pitcher, another field position player? I'm not sure personally, but we're here to have the discussion.
It's interesting the way you're positioning it, Femi, because I would still say that I think the best thing is to try to get an extension done with Adley Rutschman, right? Like if he's willing to, and that's a huge if. Because, as you know, these guys get this close to free agency, they're inclined to say, yeah, let me negotiate with everybody instead of just negotiating with you. And he's performing well, so it's a good time to be moving towards free agency.
Yeah.
So my gut says if he's open to it, I would still prefer that you talk about an extension, because typically extensions for catchers are not what they are for other guys. You're not talking about $300 million. You're talking about somewhere between $100 and $150 million. They tend to be a bit more friendly. The way that you're discussing it fascinates me, because it would suggest maybe even if he were, you already did the extension with Basayo. You already got that guy. Now you have an asset that you could use to improve the rest of your team. So even if Rutschman was willing to talk about it, you might say, hey, it just might be better for the overall construction of the roster if you tried to, knowing you've got a catcher locked up, that you could try to improve somewhere else on the team to get yourself closer to winning a World Series.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head. That's the strategy that I'm thinking about personally. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the Ravens, right? When you have a bunch of DBs, but you don't have a pass rusher, you need the pass rusher, right? And you might have to use one of those asset-rich resources to get that guy. You know, once again, obviously, we're not talking Ravens right now. I'm just talking philosophically, right? But the point is that it's a roller coaster watching the O's, man. It really is.
Is it? Are you at all concerned about the idea? My gut, Femi, is that the Orioles don't think Basayo is a 120 game catcher. That they think he's a bat who can catch, and they like the idea of him splitting time with another catcher. When you watch him, I mean, obviously he can throw. Like, there's no debate about his ability to throw, and I think that pitchers, we heard Trevor Rogers talking about him on Saturday night. You referenced Trevor. That was the best that Trevor's looked all year Saturday night in L.A., and afterwards he said, I kind of hope Basayo catches me moving forward. So maybe I'm selling him short. Maybe he really is.
Yeah, I think you are. You don't sign a guy to an 8-year deal that's 21 to be a part-time catcher or platoon. I just don't. That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think he grows into that position. You know, he's not there yet, but, you know, I mean, you have another kid playing second base who plays every day. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you got a bunch of young guys out there. Like, let them eat. You know, let them prove themselves. And back to my point about Blaze, I think he needs to be playing every game.
I hear you. I hear you on that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, like, I just feel like, look, I know that there's a lot of new things happening, you know, from the manager to the way they deploy their strategy. Analytics was a discussion. Like, I get it. I understand. I'm simply looking at how do we address potential holes that can be solved with the assets that we have. And maybe when it's all said and done, look, injuries have been an issue. Obviously, defensive performance had been an issue earlier in the season. A lot of that's improved. And maybe we're yet to see the best of this team, because in stretches we've seen how good they could be. Right now, I think Pete Alonso's the only one with an OPS over 800. Oh, actually, I take that back. Blaze also has an OPS over 800. But at one point, it was only Basayo and Rutschman that had OPSs over 800. So I don't think power is their issue. I think their issue is timely hitting and timely pitching, which, like, yeah, spoiler alert, right? Like, I just said something that was crazy, right? Like, I mean, I know
it's good to have those two things. Yes, I've heard.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but like, I think games are won on the margins, right? It's the throws it's hitting the cutoff man, right? It's turning the double play when you can. It's moving runners from second to third when you can. It's a fly ball into the outfield with the runner on third and one out. Like, those are the things. Like, it's the small ball conditional hitting and playing defense stuff, not adding extra runners on base or putting extra runners in scoring position. Like, it's all those things. And we see the volatility around the way they do stuff.
Even in a really good win last night, they still managed to run themselves into a double play on the base paths. Like, even in a game when they won 6-1, there was that head-scratching, what the hell just happened here when Gunnar tried to stay in a rundown for Kobe Mayo, and they both ended up being out. And that stuff has happened a little too frequently this year.
I agree. There's been some blunders, but they're fun to watch, man. They're really fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Femi,
like I told you,
what's driven the conversation for me is even if they're turning things around, and I acknowledge, I think that the parts were always better than the whole when they were at their worst this season, that they should have been better than their record indicated. But you are what, we talk about this all the time. We can say that you are what your record says you are. That's the reality. So I do think that they had the ability to play better baseball than that. But I've always believed that they were going to be short of being a World Series contender. As good as Bradish has looked his last couple of starts, he still has an innings thing that you got to deal with as the season goes on because he's only pitched 30 in each of the last 2 years. I still think that it requires you to have dudes, like legitimate horses at the top of your rotation to have the chance to break through and win a World Series. I don't see that from this group.
I'm not. Yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're good, dude.
I can't even think about that right now. Like, if you strategize and perform your way into that, then great. I'm never going to say that you can't do something, but I'm not even thinking about a World Series right now. I'm sure, like, there's a strategy and a plan for that 3-4 years out from now. Obviously, you can catch lightning in a bottle and whatever happens, happens. But, like, realistically, I just want to see them be a wild card team and get into the playoffs and learn something from that experience and then build on that. I get it. I mean, like, but I'm not saying like what I don't know who it was, but I was listening to someone talk about the U.S. men's national soccer team, right? And they look really good. I'm not going to put a cap on them and say they can't win the whole damn thing. Why not them?
Sure.
I mean, they look pretty damn good.
Just go do it.
They're moving the ball around. Yeah,
Yeah.
they look great. And it's the World Cup. Weird things happen. I mean, wasn't Japan just in the final?
Morocco, obviously, 4 years ago.
So
right?
and you're playing on home turf. Like, I think that matters. And so when I look at the O's and I look at any professional team, I'm not going to say, like, unequivocally that they can't do something.
Get it.
Like, that's silliness. But what I want to see is a progression. And what I want to see them is finish with above a 500 record and become a wild card team. And obviously the wild card race is wide open. You know what I mean? Especially in the American League.
Yeah.
So, that's just kind of where I'm at.
Femi, it's only relevant to me in the context of the Rutschman conversation, right? Which is, if you're serious about this, if the plan is, by the way, we intend to go get a starting pitch, a Joe Ryan type, at the deadline this year that's going to be here this year and next year. If the plan is we're going to come hell or high water, go get those dudes, we're going to go get the pitchers going to make up the difference, then I would say hang on to Adley Rutschman even if he ultimately expires and you get nothing for him. Like, hang on to that piece and try to win a World Series with him this year or next year. Like, go do that. I am in favor of maximizing the assets you have and saying, let's win a World Series. Let's do everything in our power. So part of the conversation to me regarding Adley Rutschman is, are you willing to do that? Are you willing to go do what it takes to get that type of starting pitching by next year, right? Because obviously Rutschman's a free agent after 2027. If you're willing to do that, then I'll live with you didn't maximize your asset in a trade if you're maximizing it in giving yourself the absolute best chance you can to go win a championship.
I think the question is the probability of winning a championship with this team as constructed in the next 2 years versus winning a World Series in 3 or 4 years and using that asset
to gain more,
to make you better. Yeah, exactly. So let's be honest, like we're just talking probability here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you force me to choose one, I know which one I'm willing to choose today.
Right.
You know
I get it. I completely get it.
I think you know. I think you know too. You probably
but it's complicated, right? Because then Gunner's a free agent the year after that. Like you start having
Gunner. They're not letting Gunner walk.
Man, it's going to cost him an awful lot of money. We've never seen. I know, but we've just never seen him pay that much.
Look, if you're going to let Gunner walk and then you're going to keep Adley, and like I don't know, dude. Like, what are we doing?
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying?
I hear you, man. I hear.
There's too many moving parts to make that I can't create a concise narrative around that yet because I'm not there yet. I didn't plan on having that discussion today. You know what I mean? And I don't want to
write out
my skis.
Write out every
yeah. I got to be careful with that.
But
what I will say is this: I really enjoy watching them play. I know it's painful sometimes because you see things like it's almost like, oh, they got this done. They're going to win this game, and they don't. You know, and then you're like, they're down by 4 in the last inning, and they win. It's you know what I mean? Like it's a roller coaster. But I see the talent. I see the youthfulness. I see the ceiling, but I also see the floor. So yeah, my hope is that they can find a way to get above 500 and become a wild card team. Like if they do that, man, I'd be really excited.
I dig that. Femi Ayanbadejo is with us. I do want to talk some Ravens with you.
Yeah.
Because one conversation I've been having a lot, and I don't feel like has been. I'm sure you guys have talked about it, you and Bruce. I'm fascinated by it. If I have this conversation, I'm not saying that I don't think Jacoby Lane, I know you're high on Lane and Surratt, and I think they're both nice players.
Yep.
I still am inclined to say there are some real impact free agent receivers that are available. And it's not just Steph Diggs. I know he gets the bulk of the conversation because he's local and because he's probably
I'm a Debo fan, bro.
You're not the only one. And I would tell you, Femi, I believe that Keenan Allen is going to have a 1,000-yard season at the age of 55 somehow. Like, I think that Keenan Allen is just ageless and always helpful and does something that is a skill that I think can translate beyond age when you can make plays in the red zone the way that he can. So I'm interested in this. I am. Not because I'm down on the other guys, because I want this team to win a Super Bowl. And what happens right now, you've got 3 guys that are knowns in the pass-catching department. And even Rashad Bateman, we're saying is a known, but, you know, it's kind of a known with an asterisk, right? Like, you've got Zay, you've got Mark Andrews, you've got Rashad Bateman, and you have a lot of hope for the rest of this group. And I love Tez Walker. I think Tez Walker has earned an opportunity to get more snaps. But for a team that wants to win a Super Bowl, I would like, what happens if one of those guys gets hurt? I just feel like right now there's the talent that's available among the free agent receivers is too good for me to not be interested in swimming in those waters.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think, you know, Eric's made it very clear that he doesn't want to, you know, soil the pot, so to speak, by not giving these young guys reps. That's the JV and the Clowney dilemma too, right? Like the reason why they haven't brought him in potentially is because they want to get Zion Young more reps. They want to get Mike Green more reps. You know what I mean? And so football, inevitably injuries happen. And I think when these injuries happen, then you'll see whether it's an off-ball backer, whether it's a receiver, or whether it's an outside backer with rush capability. I think that's when maybe some of these triggers are pulled. But maybe we get lucky and nobody gets hurt. I personally, it'd be nice to have a Jadeveon Clowney. It'd be nice to have a Keenan Allen. But I think this team as constructed is a Super Bowl contender right now, based on the head coach, based on the defensive coordinator, and based on the offensive coordinator. And just based on what I hear coming out of the castle and how excited these guys are. And just from my own analysis, we have 2 savant-like vanguard leaders in regard to how this defense and offense is going to run. We haven't had a defensive guy like this since Mike McDonald. And Jesse and Mike have a Venn diagram of overlap in philosophy and the way they do stuff. And remember what happened last time when we had that guy.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
2023.
Yeah, pretty
that
good.
Team won the Triple Crown. First team to ever do that. You know what I mean? I think it was turnover, sacks, and points per game, right? And then now you have Declan Doyle, in my opinion, who has been basically called the savant by everybody that's dealt with him. Yes, he hasn't called plays yet, but I think that he's been calling plays in his head ever since he's been on the offensive side of the ball as a coach. Now we get to see him do it. Will there be some growing pains? Possibly, potentially. But I feel really good about where this team is at. And any additions, I welcome them, but I'm not just like the center position. I've been saying I think the center.
You're confident it's on the team. You're confident
I
they've got.
I think it's going to be Gwynn or Pinter for sure. Like I've been thinking about this for a while. I did a show with Ken and Tim, and they both looked at me like I was crazy. I was like, they almost made me buckle and change my mind because they were so confident that the center wasn't in the building. But I was like, nah, dude. You know what? And as time has gone on, I've become more confident that the starting center is in the building because those two guards that they brought in. And the offensive line coach, who's by many is believed to be the best offensive line coach in the NFL. Like I think people are severely underestimating the effect of these coaches and what they're going to be able to do for these players. We've been doing things one way for a long time with John, and John is going to probably be in the Hall of Fame. But as Ravens, we've always said, you know what we're going to do, and we dare you to stop us. When we got into 22 personnel, we got into 13 personnel, we ran the ball 84% of the time. Everybody knew the run was coming. And we still were the number one rushing team in the NFL for years. Even with that that's gone now. That's gone. On defense, we're not going to be dropping guys into coverage to cover grass. Like there are going to be zone man principles plastered to the closest person in your vicinity. You do not just cover an area because you're supposed to. I just think the coaching, the energy, the youthfulness, the creativity, people are not ready for what's coming, in my opinion. That's how confident I am.
I dig all of that. What you said about the injury, the only thing that I worry about is that, like, if you do deal with an injury, you deal with it after other teams have dealt with injuries, and now the pot that you're trying to pick out of, it's not Debo and Stephon Diggs and Keenan Allen. It's a next group of guys that aren't really going to be helpful, right? Like, I know what you're saying, and I think very highly of I think Tez is ready. I think he is.
I think so too.
I think that he can have a significant role for this team moving forward.
Glenn, the cost-benefit analysis of bringing in a guy that's going to take reps from the guys that need them.
I get it.
And taking those reps means that they're underdeveloped. Like you know what I mean? Like you're robbing Peter to pay
Well,
Paul.
and it's the risk that you don't have a roster spot for all of them too, obviously, right? Like that at some point you have to expose one of them because do you have a roster spot for all 6 of these guys if you end up signing and none of them get hurt?
Yeah. So no, I mean, I'm with you. I just feel like, and I actually like psychologically and emotionally, like the way that like the Colin Cowherds and the Mike Florios of the world, the way that they color this team and the things that they say, clearly they're not on the ground level here. So they don't really know what's going on.
Yeah.
They're just taking talking points from people that are saying things that have their negative spin because that's just who they are, curmudgeons, get off my lawn types that aren't paying attention to what's really going on here. I pay attention to detail. I interact with these guys. Some special's happening. And I don't know if we'll see the fruits of it this year or next year. I don't know when, but I think this team is on their way to winning minimum 12 games.
Oh, damn.
Minimum.
I love that.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Let me finish with this because we had a lot of emotional kicker conversations when we were doing shows together.
Yeah.
Where is your confidence level in Tyler Loop? Because I got kind of called out for being like a hater, and I was never a hater. I just was, I don't know if this guy's good or not.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You didn't have trust. He didn't earn your trust. Yeah, I get it. He didn't earn my trust either. And I always said that, one of the biggest disservices that was done to Tyler Loop is he never kicked a high pressure kick in a game that mattered until it mattered.
Yes.
Until
the one.
Pittsburgh.
Right. Yep.
But can anyone say, and honestly, that they thought he was going to make that kick? I didn't think he was going to make that kick before he kicked it. I just had, like with Tuck, even though Tuck had his ups and downs toward the end of his time, I still believe he was going to make every kick.
Yeah, if a
even
kick mattered.
He wasn't worthy.
You're right.
Like even if he wasn't worthy of that like confidence, I still had it in him because he'd done it for so long.
Yeah, that's a great point.
But this is the thing. This is the thing about Tyler, though. He's saying all the right things. He's doing all the right things. I believe that the kid is super talented. I think he is going to become what we need him to become.
Okay.
He just wasn't there yet, but I believe he will be that. His leg is really strong. I trust Randy to get him right. You know what I mean? I don't think it's an accident that he's here. Like, you know what I mean? Like I trust them when it comes to the background and legwork of understanding players. Like guys don't end up in Baltimore accidentally. They end up here for a reason. You know what I mean? So although we haven't seen the return on investment in Tyler yet, in some way, maybe we lost the battle against Pittsburgh, but we could end up winning the war.
All right.
And so,
I'll
yeah,
listen.
you know what I'm saying?
I'll listen
Yeah.
on that. I wouldn't have minded more competition. I wouldn't have minded just to push him. Just push him. Go
I
make
still
him
wouldn't
win.
mind it, but it would be a veneer, though. It would be a facade.
Yeah, that
Like,
you want. Yeah, he's gonna win.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can bring somebody in just to have somebody, so you can get a bet. Like maybe more about just bringing somebody. Like there's this kid in the UFL.
McCrane.
Is it? I can't, dude. I just saw a game where this dude kicked like 44, 60-yard field goals. You know what I mean? Like I'm like, bring him in.
Actually, I think that was. How did they not get you on the Louisville staff? By the way, it was like all of your boys, man.
Me and Red were roommates, obviously, when we played on the Ravens. But I didn't even know he was doing it, and then he and I had a conversation like halfway through the season, and then I was like, dude, the staff is like all
it's
our
insane,
teammates.
man.
Like, yeah, no. So I mean, it's nothing. I don't think Red probably doesn't have any idea like what I'm into and what I'm doing. And honestly, even if he offered it to me, I probably couldn't have done it anyway. So
man, it was a cool story though. It was really cool to see all those guys together.
I'm gonna talk to him. I already talked to him about coming on the Bruce and Femi show on a Saturday on the Fan. So he's already committed to do that. We haven't picked a date yet. Me and Bruce were out last week. I'm traveling back to California for a friend's birthday, and I'm participating in a former NFL player study at UC San Francisco, which I think is really important. Yeah, so I'm doing that. So I'll be gone. But yeah, and plus we're in that summertime where if you got things to do, now's the time to get it done.
Vacation, the whole deal, dude.
Yeah,
I'm going to Africa for 2 weeks. I'm going to Tanzania on safari for 2 weeks in July, man. It is really cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, every Saturday. Bruce
Every
Cunningham.
Saturday, noon to 3. Yep.
Femi Ayanbadejo with you over on 105.7 The Fan. Anything else I can plug for you, man?
Yeah, dude. Hey, I've been really trying to build my my X following, and it's really taken off. So anybody that's willing to jump in, I'm always posting statistical stuff. Obviously, I'm giving my opinions. I fight the haters. I don't care. Like I don't care who I am or who they are. Like if they're disrespectful or say dumb stuff, I come after them. Yep, I do.
Oh, you know what? You know what I saw on your social? I did not know that your daughter had done a thing with the Ravens. Out at was that the rookie premiere that she was?
Yeah, it was out in LA with Fanatics. Yeah,
that's really cool.
Fanatics. Yeah, she's been modeling since she was 15. Her career's really taken off. She's been doing some influencer stuff. Yeah, dude, she's really doing well.
Cool,
and so,
man.
Yeah, so somehow somebody from the Ravens had known about her career in modeling and influence stuff that she's been doing. She lives in LA, and this event was with Elijah and Jacoby. I think it was at USC, and Fanatics hosted it. So yeah, she was out there wearing she didn't have my jersey because I'm not there. She got my brother lives in LA. She got my brother's jersey and was out there playing catch and throwing the ball around with Jacoby
awesome,
and Elijah. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Femi, love you, brother. Always appreciate
you.
Love
you too, man.
Let's talk soon.
What's up, Griff? What's up, Griff?
What's up, Femi?
Right?
Good to hear you. Good to hear you.
Wait, hang on a second. This is where what would Femi always grill you about? Like we'd always get to, oh my God, I've forgotten. Femi always wanted Griffin to be involved in the shows. He would always get frustrated that Griffin wouldn't talk. Like he would always want to get him involved somehow, some way. Oh, give me your top 5. Let's do that. Let's wrap with that. Going into the season, give me your top 5. Your top 5, your power 5 going into the year.
Okay. So, man, I wish you would have told me I was going to do this.
I know.
Okay,
I'm sprung on you. I still have the Rams. I still have the Rams 1.
Yeah.
I mean, the Rams have to be 1.
I want to start at 5 and then work my way down.
All right.
I'm going to put the Ravens at 5, even though I would probably prefer to put them higher. But I think 5 is a solid number for them.
That.
So I'll go Ravens at 5.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go. Who would I put at 4? I'm gonna go, man, because when I think about 4 and then I say, are they better than the Ravens?
It's tough, right? It's tough. It's tough.
I'm putting them at 5 just because I it's just what I do. I should put them at 10 maybe just because I like it that way. But
yeah, right. I know. Yeah, Femi does like the idea of nobody believes in us. Nobody. Everybody hate us. Everybody. Yeah, 100%.
I love that. Yeah. So at 4 I'll put Seattle.
Okay.
At 3, I will go with who will I put at 3? Dang, who would I put at 3? I'm trying to think. If I think NFC. So I said Ravens at 5.
Mm-hmm.
Who did I have 4?
You had Seattle.
right, Seattle at 4. Okay, I'll go Buffalo 3.
Okay.
I'll go Niners 2, and I'll go Rams 1.
Wow, Niners 2. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
All right. I'm doing okay, I'll go the other way. Cuz I like I'm not that far off. The team that I am somewhat bullish about, I really like adding Jalen Waddle. I like the Broncos, man. Like I think
Yeah, I'm not a believer.
I think if he doesn't get hurt, they win the AFC Championship game.
I agree with that.
I don't know.
I actually thought about putting Houston at 5, dude.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, 'cause I think their defense. I think they have the best defense in the NFL right now.
I was just so alarmed by what I saw from CJ Stroud.
Yeah,
last game.
CJ. That's the only reason why I didn't, because CJ. And he'll be better, and I know he'll be better. But they're top 10 for me.
Okay, I'm doing Broncos 5, Ravens 4, Bills 3, Seahawks 2, Rams 1 for me.
Okay, yeah.
Be my
So I had the
5.
Niners, and you had Denver.
Yeah.
And maybe the Niners should be a little bit further back. But let's just assume that that's my 5. But maybe the order. Yeah, let's do that. That's
I like
my
it.
5, but maybe the order's
I
not
like
right.
it.
But those
We
are my
got
5,
time.
You know what
We
I mean?
got time.
Yeah, I think the Niners are going to have a bounce back season. I really like Brock Purdy a lot. You know,
I
they
get it.
got Mike Williams. Yeah, I
The
love
Ayuk thing.
CMC.
The Ayuk thing is such a mess, man. Like what a mess.
Yeah,
that is, dude.
I mean, it's like he hasn't even been there. You know, it's almost
Yeah.
like he's already been gone. So I don't.
That's
even,
fair. It doesn't even matter. It doesn't even factor into the conversation.
Yeah, they have one of the best tight ends in the league. They have one
That's
of the
true.
best running backs in the league. They have an underrated quarterback.
You're
They've
right.
got the best middle linebacker in the NFL, in my opinion. You know, and Roquan's going to have a heck of a year, by the way. He's going to bounce back. Roquan
He
and
looks
Mark,
good, doesn't
watch
he?
them.
Doesn't he look
Roquan
good?
And Mark.
I-
Roquan and Mark. Watch them.
If you guys haven't seen it, Roquan looks slim. Like he looks like he's put in a lot of work this offseason to have a bounce back year.
Hey, are you maybe I shouldn't even ask you right now.
Okay.
Let me just text you, because I don't want to. Yeah, let me ask you offline.
All right,
Yeah, I'll
all
ask you offline.
All right. I love you, pal.
Yeah, I don't want to get you in trouble.
Oh, dude, you know how things work. I'll talk to you. Appreciate you always. Thank you for coming on, man.
All right, bro.
See you, buddy. Femi Ayanbadejo, Super Bowl 35 champion, longtime friend, just all around good guy, and dynamite Orioles analysis, which is that's why when he's over there on 105.7, he's not just talking Ravens, he's not just talking football, he's talking what you be talking. And in the summer in Baltimore, obviously you're talking a lot of Orioles, and you can tell he can do it. Would you have anybody different in your 5, Griffin?
Probably not. I mean, because initially I was like, well, the Chiefs have to be up there, and then I was like, well, I don't know. Mahomes could miss
That's
an uncertain amount of time.
It really is. I need to see, because I think you're right. If Patrick Mahomes is good to go, which seems impossible, but I get it the way that everybody's been talking
and
about
even
it.
if he does miss only 4 weeks, then it's.
But it's sort of like I need to see it before I'm willing to just put them there. I think they still have to earn that.
Yeah, which I guess is fair. And then it felt weird saying because it's like, yeah, I guess I might be like drinking the purple the purple juice or whatever. But I'm like,
you
better than
think
the
they
Bills.
have him
I think
above
they're
the
better than
Bills?
And
yeah, you
know.
might be right about
I don't
that
know.
on paper. Although I do really like DJ Moore. I mean, I really like DJ Moore.
Yeah. I mean, I
think
guess
that's a great
I
acquisition.
guess it's pretty easy to say. Yeah, that's true. They did. And that was.
And by the way, that was like of the NFC teams, I probably still would have had the Bears ahead of the 49ers. I think. The funny thing is,
it is crazy because it's crazy how far the Niners went with.
Yes, with everybody hurt.
Yeah, with
everybody was
no
hurt.
one.
Femi's right about we probably are too disrespectful of the 49ers considering they had everyone was hurt.
Yeah, I don't think I'm
entire
gonna put
team.
2 like Femi did, but I think he's right. They're probably top 5. It might be the 3.
It's also interesting how
the 3 NFC West teams. And then Ravens and Bills.
we've all kind of pushed the Eagles back a little bit, and I get it. AJ Brown it's a major piece to lose, but they still have Saquon. I do think Devontae Smith's going to have a monster season, and they're really good at winning football games. So, maybe I'm being too dismissive of Philadelphia in this conversation. I have plenty of time to do more of this as we get closer to the season. Today's show.
What if the Orioles are good? And then
what's that?
What if the Orioles are good?
Yeah, that would be really nice. Oh my God, if we weren't talking about football at all because we were just so enthralled by talking about the Orioles. We're back to doing.
Or we're not talking about anything because the Orioles just never lose again, and we just never do the show. And
oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Because if they go on that win streak, we can't come back and do the show. What would we be allowed to do in this scenario? Could we do a Stand the Fan Zoom type of show? Could we do something like that?
That would be probably too close to.
You think
cutting.
that's cheating?
Yeah.
If that's the
I think
case,
we'd have to wait. I think we'd have to wait it out.
Stan did one of those shows yesterday.
Oh, he did?
With Kenny Singleton joining he and Ross Grimsley. If you missed that, you can find it right now, Facebook.com/PressBoxSports, YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline, or PressBoxOnline.com/video. As always, Stan's shows are brought to you by Warnken Law, as well as the Costas Inn with 2 great locations, the OG in Dundalk, the new one in Timonium. Come back in. We will get a tidbit. We will get tubular, and we will wind things down for a Tuesday edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
This is Stan the Fan. You know we talk all the time about our O's stepping up in the big moments, delivering when it matters most. If you've been injured in a car accident anywhere around Baltimore, that's your big moment, and you need someone who delivers. That's why I'm here to tell you about Warnken Injury Lawyers. They fight for Baltimore families every single day. Insurance companies play games. Warnken plays to win. So call 443-RESULTS. That's 443-RESULTS, or go to warnkenlaw.com. When you need results, it's right there in the number, 443-RESULTS.
Your car is more than just a ride. It's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, we've spent over 20 years perfecting the art of repair. From high-end imports to your trusted daily driver, we handle all makes and models with elite precision. Our team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. We make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery, because at Leading Edge, customer satisfaction comes first. And remember, with insurance, it's your car and it's your choice. Choose the experts. Leading Edge Auto Body. Quality you can see. Service you can trust. Go to leadingedgeautobody.com today.
When you feel invisible, exhausted, stressed, or anxious, when you have days that just feel too hard to get through, you are not alone. If you or someone you love is struggling with mental health or problems with drugs or alcohol, help is right in your hands. Call or text 988 to get support whenever you need it. Help is here. Call or text 988. Brought to you by Maryland Department of Health.
This summer, the world gathers on the biggest stage in sports, and only one place puts you in the front row for every thrilling moment. Live Casino. June 9th through July 19th, surround yourself with massive screens, trophy-worthy specials, and arena-sized energy. This isn't a game, it's history in the making. Watch the world play at Live Casino. At Arundel Mills, must be 21. Please play responsibly. For help, visit mdgamblinghelp.org or call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
The latest edition of Press Box is available now. On the cover, Bill Ordine dives in on how different Preakness will be temporarily at Laurel Park, and then long-term once it returns to Pimlico. Also inside, Luke Jackson learns more about what Trey Hendrickson will bring to the Ravens. And Karuga Koinange looks at how Samuel Basayo is influencing the Orioles' international signing efforts. Press Box is available for free at over 250 locations throughout the region, including your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Plus, you can read the entire issue online at PressBoxOnline.com, where you can also find great betting advice and the best daily coverage of the Orioles, Ravens, and Terps.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here as we wind down for a Tuesday edition of the program. We covered the NBA news. What else did I need to get to today? Oh,
are we gonna predict the draft? Should we do our mock?
No,
our
good.
NBA mock.
I'm good. Yeah, the draft is
tonight. I'll load up the NBA mock simulator.
No, I'm quite all right. Legendary Salisbury lacrosse coach Jim Berkman retiring. 13 national championships during his run as the head coach at Salisbury.
Is that good? Why couldn't he get 14?
Great point. Real disappointment, if you ask me. He is stepping down as head coach at Salisbury. An incredible run, obviously, on the D3 level. I don't know. I feel like that's about it. I feel like we've covered everything we needed to cover today. Oh, you know what? Disappointing second place finish last night. Got a lot. We got to go back and
bit you?
we really got to go look back at the tape. What bit us last night? God, we struggled in the second half. We struggled with there was we struggled with some American history questions.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, we struggled
What
with.
was the American
This
history?
one was very disappointing.
It's the 250th anniversary.
In what city will you find the world's largest naval base? In what U.S. city will you find the world's largest naval base?
I don't want to. Am I going to overthink it here or
It's-
San Diego?
That was what we said.
Is it Annapolis?
Norfolk. Which is, of course, disappointing because, our team name is Norfolk and Way.
That should have been like -2 points or something.
Not a great
for you
look.
guys. Yeah, that should have
Not
been.
a great look for us to miss that one.
You don't know anything about your own city.
And we were down between the two. John Proctor was like, I think it's Norfolk. And the rest of us were like, I don't know, we're leaning San Diego. But then he started trying to talk me into it. I'm like, I don't know. San Diego's also like where the SEALs go for training at Coronado. So maybe there's more ships and like maybe that's the reality in Norfolk. And we voted. We went San Diego. Our movie guy really let us down. Really let us down because he didn't know the final. I actually kind of lucked into it.
Man, it sounds like the movie guy.
He had a really good night.
He did? Okay.
Other than the final was, of all of the films that Martin Scorsese has directed, this is the only one that would be considered a sequel.
All the films Scorsese's done. He didn't get this one.
We got it, but we didn't wager. We only wagered. We wouldn't have caught. We were behind, and the team that we were trailing got it for 15, so it wouldn't have mattered. But we only wagered 3 points because we were not confident about this.
So, in the way it's considered, it's almost like not an obvious sequel. Or?
What I would say is it's not called Blank 2.
Sure. Okay.
That's what it was.
Man, I don't know. It's be bad if I don't get it.
No.
I don't know.
Not
I
at
don't
all.
know.
Yeah, I didn't know either. At one point, for some dumb reason,
Did he do Taxi? Who did Taxi?
We started realizing it couldn't be anything that he did in modern years, right? So I just happened to ask if he had done The Hustler, because I knew there was a sequel to The Hustler. For what it's worth, I couldn't even remember that it was called For the Love of Money. I couldn't even remember that was what The Hustler was called, or the sequel to The Hustler. I just knew that it had a sequel. For the record, he didn't do The Hustler, but he did do For the Love of Money. Interestingly enough, because we just couldn't come up with anything, we ended up writing down For the Love of Money. Like, our movie guy did at least know that was the name of the sequel to The Hustler. But he didn't think that was the right answer. As it turns out, it was the right answer. So I have joked now that I am the movie guy, right? Like, that's the way that it works.
Just add something else to your...
The dumbest way that we got to it. Just the dumbest way that we got to the answer, but we didn't know it. Sports questions I had with no problem. Hang on a second. What were the sports questions last night? Besides the 3 host countries of Canada, Mexico, and the United States, what other 3 members of CONCACAF are participating in the 2026 FIFA World Cup?
Paraguay.
CONCACAF, of course, is North America, Central America, and the Caribbean.
So not Paraguay.
That would be CONMEBOL. It'd be South America.
CONMEBOL.
Not CONCACAF.
I just wanted to give them another shout out because they just, it's good for them. They beat Turkey, or Turkey.
Turkey.
That would be Curacao.
Okay.
And is Panama in it? Yeah, Panama's in it. I think they made it. Panama.
Is that an official answer?
Yeah, Panama's an official answer. And another one. Let's see. Nicaragua's not in it. El Salvador's not in it. Is there like another Caribbean country out? Oh, Haiti. The
correct answers are...
Oh, I got one wrong.
Curacao.
All right.
Panama.
Boom.
And Haiti.
All right.
Which we did go 3 for 3 on. We had no problem with that one. This one, single skull, double skulls, and coxless pair are all events in what Olympic sport? Single skull, double skulls, and coxless pair.
Coxless pair?
That's what they call it.
How do you spell
Are
that?
all, COXLESS, coxless, are all events in what Olympic sport?
Easy. Probably like freestyle skiing. Don't know.
Bad.
Skeleton.
Not even close.
Winter sport.
Not even. Definitely not a winter sport.
Weightlifting. I don't know.
Yeah, well, weightlifting. Come on, man. Rowing.
Oh yeah, obvious.
Duh. That one was not
Coxless
difficult.
pair.
And they reminded me that I did not give you this one from last week. I got 5 out of 5 when they asked me when I was sitting at Monday Night Raw having a conversation. Which 5 baseball players not in the Hall of Fame have the most career home runs?
Which 5 players? Oh, jeez.
Which
Not in the
5
Hall of
players
Fame?
not in the Baseball Hall of Fame have the most
I'm not
career
old like you.
home
I can't
runs?
recite all the Hall of Famers.
Which 5 players
Like
not in the Baseball Hall of Fame have the most career home
Barry
runs?
Bonds. A-Rod. I'm trying to think about what other steroids. Sammy Sosa. Are they all steroid guys?
Just answer the damn question, Griffin.
Bonds, Rodriguez, Sosa, McGuire. And there's a 5th.
There's a 5th.
Are those 4 right?
I'm not telling you until you give your 5th.
Other guys that have Manny. No, Manny. Yeah, Manny.
Those were the 5 guesses they gave.
Oh no.
They went 4 for 5. I went 5 for 5.
So one of those guys doesn't have the most.
Yeah, Manny Ramirez is not on that list.
Manny's got over 500 though, right?
He does, as does Rafael Palmeiro, who's also not in the Hall of Fame. But the correct answer is going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's just not in yet.
Because he's got 500 runs. Because he's on like the ballot this year, or I guess he must have just retired. Albert Pujols is the 5th. The only honorable one, of course.
Yeah, the honorable one. That's what they call him. The honorable Albert Pujols. All right, very good. What you got? Tidbit is brought to you by the print issue of Press Box. Coming tomorrow, a brand new print issue of Press Box featuring Orioles play-by-play man Kevin Brown on the cover. It's also our annual summer travel issue. Lots of sports tourism thoughts for you and your family to take advantage of around Maryland. So make sure you pick that up for free at your Baltimore area High's Dairy stores. Read it for free at PressBoxOnline.com or find it anywhere you find PressBox around town.
Dusty May became the 2nd person to become an NBA coach immediately after winning an NCAA championship.
I swear to God, I thought you said Dustin May at first.
Dustin
I was like Dustin May.
The pitcher for the Cardinals.
Why are we talking about Dustin May?
Then also Dusty May got hired by
So Dustin May is going to coach the Mavericks.
Yes,
is what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. He also won a title with Michigan.
Dustin May.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what are we doing with that?
He became the 2nd person. Dusty May became the 2nd person to be immediately hired as an NBA coach after winning an NCAA championship in the season prior.
Well, this is tricky. Wasn't Billy Donovan hired, but then he didn't take the job? Like, wasn't he hired by the Magic, and then he just they had a whole press conference.
They are not counting him.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that he was hired by the Magic and did the whole deal, and then literally like a week later was just like, yeah, I've changed my mind. I got to look back on Billy Donovan.
Apparently Rolly Massimino also did that.
Took a job?
Yeah, he also agreed to a deal with the Nets and then decided he was going to not do it.
There was a press conference on June 1st of 2007.
He had a whole press
He was introduced as the head coach of the Magic, and then on June 6th, he was gone, daddy gone, the love is gone. So then the answer is, God, who won a title and then immediately went to the NBA? It's not. Who won a title and then immediately? I got to think about all that. Hang on a second. I'm going to have to do it this way.
Okay. I got time.
I'm just going over title-winning coaches. Like Lute Olson didn't go to the NBA. Jim Herrick didn't go. John Wooden didn't go. Was it Pitino?
It was not Pitino.
Okay. I don't remember when he immediately went. Then was it Calipari?
It was not Calipari.
Wasn't Steve Fisher.
Nope.
Wasn't Tom Izzo. Wasn't Bobby Knight. Wasn't Roy Williams. It wasn't Bill Self.
Yeah, Pitino coached. Pitino won in '96, coached the following season,
year,
and then went to Boston. Yeah.
I guess Calipari didn't win a title before he went to the NBA.
Wow. They were really bullish on him, huh? No, yeah, Calipari did not.
It wasn't Roy Williams.
He went from UMass to the Nets.
Mm-hmm.
Not Roy Williams, no.
It wasn't Krzyzewski, obviously. It wasn't Dean Smith.
He
it wasn't.
did play at North Carolina, though.
Did play at North Carolina. Won a title.
Mm-hmm.
And then went to the NBA. Played at Carolina. Won a title. Went to the NBA.
He was drafted by this city in the 7th round of the 1963 draft.
Oh, God. Now you're asking me to really. All right. He was drafted by the
Bullets. Yeah. In the 7th round. I guess, well, it was only the 55th overall pick because there weren't a ton of NBA teams, but
drafted by the Bullets. Wow. You're asking me to remember something that I'm not going to be able to come up with.
He won with the with Kansas. And then the next year he was coaching San Antonio Spurs.
Sure.
This one's too tough.
I don't know why I don't remember who else would have won a title. Who else would have won a title at Kansas? I mean, it's not Fog Allen.
No, and then he won, and then he did win an NBA title, not with San Antonio, but with Detroit in the 2004.
Oh, Larry Brown, son of a bitch.
Yep.
Wow.
Larry Brown.
Wow. All right.
That's the one.
All
you
right.
want another one?
Yeah, I guess I should have I should have gotten that. That is kind of embarrassing. I should have gotten that.
Giannis obviously was dealt last night. He is one of just 3 players to win an MVP, a Finals MVP, and a Defensive Player of the Year.
Sure. I got to think about who's won Defensive Player of the Year. That's the only way to get this. And I don't think Dennis Rodman was ever named Finals MVP.
No. Did he ever win MVP too?
No. Oh, right. You got to win MVP too. Jordan won a Defensive Player of the Year, right?
Michael Jordan did.
Okay.
Giannis, Jordan, and
NBA MVP, NBA Finals MVP. God, I don't know, man. Like, everybody I'm thinking of, like Dikembe Mutombo, definitely didn't win these other things. Lonzo Mourning was never an MVP. Shaq? Was he ever Defensive Player of the Year?
I guess not, no.
I don't think Ben Wallace was ever.
No.
Damn, this is difficult. And it's usually big men. Like, now I'm trying to think if there was another guard who snuck in the way that Jordan did and just happened to win one.
Yeah, he's a big man.
He's a big man. How about Hakeem?
Hakeem Olajuwon,
Okay.
the third, or I guess would he technically been the first to accomplish all these? Or no, I guess Jordan was probably around the same.
All
Yeah,
right.
but yeah, Jordan,
That's
Hakeem
good.
Olajuwon, and Giannis to win Finals MVP, League MVP, and DPOY.
Very good. Let's get let's get tubular, that is.
Have you ever thought of taking a cruise to these wonderful destinations with sunny skies and beautiful beaches? Well, wait no longer. We're ready for you to cruise from the Cruise Maryland Terminal.
Have a little phrase that you can go from baggage to margarita in about 15 minutes.
Choose fun with an array of destinations, onboard activities, entertainment, and world-class cuisine.
Contact your travel agent and book your cruise today. Let your adventure begin.
All right, here's what's coming up. A totally tubular this evening. Orioles continue their series with LA and look for their first 4-game win streak of the season.
Wow.
It could happen. It could happen. Tonight, 9:38 on Masson, Shane Boz and Ryan Johnson.
The director?
Yeah, whoever that is, the pitching matchup.
He's
It's
the guy-
also
he did The Last Jedi, and also he did
if you say
Knives
so.
Out and the Glass.
Oh, that's
all
Ryan
the Knives
Johnson?
Out. Yeah, he did all
Okay.
the Knives Out movies.
It's also on Peacock in the rest of the country if you happen to live somewhere else. Game of the day.
I like Ryan Johnson. So he also did Poker Face, that show with
Oh,
Natasha
okay.
Lyonne.
That was okay.
I liked it a lot. I know
yeah,
nobody else really
was
loved it. But
okay. Nothing more than okay.
It was good.
World Cup today on
Really
Fox. They give Portugal, Uzbekistan at 1 o'clock, England, Ghana at 4, and they're going big Fox for Panama, Croatia at 7 as well.
Croatia needs one?
I guess. Fox Sports 1 tonight at 10 for Colombia and Congo. And, of course, ESPN and ABC for round 1 of the NBA draft at 8 o'clock. The Wizards will take
AJ DeBonsa.
That's what Griffin says. Somebody, I think John Wall was saying, there's no reason to take DeBonsa. If you've signed Trae Young, he needs the ball in his hands, so you should take Darren Peterson.
I mean, he also needs the ball in his hands, kind of. I don't know.
I don't know.
I think it's.
Round 1 of the NBA
I mean,
draft.
so then is he saying take a Boozer then? Like, is he?
No, I think he said Peterson.
Okay, he did.
I think he did. Hang on. Let me make sure.
Well, if he's saying Trae, like Trae's going to be the ball handler, he's going to carry the ball 90% of the time. Then
Trae Young needs the ball in his hands to be Trae Young. AJ DeBonsa needs the ball to be who he needs to be. He's not a guy who can who runs off pin downs, catch and shoot, spot up guy. So for me, if you're going to keep Trae Young, for me, I like Darren Peterson because he has all that. He has everything to his game.
I guess. I mean, I don't want to argue with John Wall, but
yeah, the legend, the guy who accomplished.
NBA analyst, yeah.
He did a dance once.
Yeah, he was the first overall pick once upon a time.
That was true.
Guess we'll see.
John Little Rock says, "Are you aware they have early voting in every state, which are usually held at local?" Find out where you're actually. I know there's early voting. I'm aware, but I would still have to go. Not only would I not, I would have to go to that. I have to go to even further location away. I'm not saying I'm not going to vote.
Yeah, but then you do it on your own time
me,
when convenient.
John, I'll do it. It's just annoying that it's at.
Then he can't complain about it on the radio, John.
That's great. No, I'm saying that my polling location should be between. I should have the option of where I go because I want it to be between work and home. That's what I want. I want to be able to say I need to go between work and home, not 15 minutes away the other way from my home. Work around me. That's the point.
Right.
Non-sports.
No. Love Island, new episode of that on Peacock.
Did I see that Tino Ellis is on Love Island?
Do we know who's Tino Ellis?
Former Maryland cornerback?
Yes. Sorry, yes. Yeah, that is correct.
Tino Ellis is on the cast of Love Island. He was a nice little player, man. I think briefly had like a little cup of coffee with like the Vikings or somebody. That's kind of wild. But yeah, Tino Ellis is on
good.
Love Island.
Tino.
Anything else?
A new Terp has entered the villa. No, there's nothing else.
Okay, that's it?
It's,
Oh, God.
It's another sports watching night. Unfortunately, not as much, I feel like, because you don't have the star soccer players playing tonight. So it's
not like you had yesterday. I mean, yesterday was
and they all delivered.
Pretty great. I mean, you got
Ronaldo
you got Modric still at 7 o'clock
40.
tonight. I know, but so is Messi.
Yeah, but Messi's Messi.
I understand.
Luka Modric, he looked way overmatched by England.
Yeah, I mean, you're not. All right, thanks
they
today
pulled
to
him in what, like the 50th minute? It was
thanks today to
came out for the second half, and he was like, "I don't have it."
All right, you don't have to pile on Luka Modric.
I might take Haiti tonight.
What's that?
I might be taking Haiti tonight.
Yeah, you're going that far? That's wild. All right, thanks to Paul Tenorio from The Athletic. Thanks to Femi. We'll get it up in the greatest hits section of the.
Found we'll have Tracy Ellis Ross and Millie Alcock on the show today.
I would think Millie Alcock would be the lead. Wouldn't she be the?
Tracy Ellis Ross is listed first.
She's like the star of the big summer blockbuster.
They have Tracy Ellis Ross.
I mean, I love Tracy Ellis Ross. Don't get me wrong,
Maybe
but
she's
that's
like co-hosting.
I don't know. Tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. No, I mean I like Tracy Ellis Ross, Millie Alcock.
I like Tracy Ellis Ross.
No, I'm not gonna go to. I'm not gonna go to the tour. That's not gonna happen.
Oh, come on, support.
We will be off tomorrow. Back on Thursday. Anything?
Yeah, we'll have stuff.
Gotta knock it all out before I head out on vacation. And Griffin's like, how about friends and family?
Come on, brother. You might want to come on.
Yuck.
Maybe my uncle.
All right. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Live Casino and Hotel, the Baltimore Orioles, the Costas Inn, your Baltimore area Highs Dairy Stores, Leading Edge Auto Body, Warnken Law, 1-800-GAMBLER, HelpMyGamblingProblem.org, Cruise Maryland, CountySports.zone, the Maryland Department of Health, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Tuesday evening. Go Birds. Duke sucks.